Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's write some more Leetcode today. Today we are solving divisible and non-divisible sums difference. So we are given two positive integers n and m, and we want to define the two integers as this. So num1 will be the sum of all integers from 1 to n that are not divisible by m, and num2 will be the sum of all integers from 1 to n that are divisible by m. And we want to return the integer num1 minus num2. So if we look at this example where n is 10 and m is 3, we see all the numbers not divisible by 3 from 1 to 10 are these, and if we sum them up, it's 37. All the divisible ones by 3 are the multiples of 3, so 3, 6, and 9. And if we sum them up, it will be 18. So we do 37 minus 18, which is 19, and that would be the answer. So we return 19. So now that we have seen some examples, let's get to how we can solve this problem. So one way that we can solve this problem is to look from 1 to n. So for each number that we look through, if it is not divisible, then we will add I to the resulting variable that we keep track. If it is divisible, then we will subtract I, and then in the end, we will return the resulting variable. And the time complexity of this approach would be O of n, where n depends on the value of the input number. So there's actually a more efficient way to solve this problem, and we can go over that way right now. So we all know of this formula from our math classes, where we can find the sum of all numbers from 1 to n by using n times n plus 1 divided by 2. So if we look here, to find the sum of all numbers from 1 to n, we'll use this formula. And we realize that num2 is the sum of all integers in the range 1 to n that are divisible by m. So let's say n is 10 and this is 3, then we divide that, it will be 3, and as we know, there are 3 numbers that are divisible by 3, which is 3, 6, and 9. So we will use this formula k, and then we will plug it here for the sum formula. However, we are not looking at the integers from 1 to n, so it's not 1, 2, 3. Instead, we are actually multiplying them all by 3. So instead of 1, 2, 3, it will be 3, 6, 9. So that's why I multiply m, and we will use that to find num2. And num1 will just be the total minus num2, because it's all that are not divisible, which is the opposite of divisible. So we'll just do the total minus num2, and then we can subtract num1 to num2, and that will be the result that we return. So let's go over this example real quick. So first k would be 10 floor division by 3, which is 3. And then total will be 10 times 10 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 55. Num2 will plug in the formula, plug in m over here, and k at these two places, and it will be 18. And num1 will just be the total minus num2, which is 37. And now we will subtract 37 to 18, and that will be 19. So that will be our result. And the time complexity will be O of 1, because we are just plugged into a formula, so the time is constant. And the space complexity will also be constant, because we are not using any extra space. So now let's get to the coding part. So first we will do k is equal to n floor division by m, and the total would be n times n plus 1 divided by 2, but we can do floor division here, so to prevent the result from being a decimal. And now num2 will be k times k plus 1 floor division by 2 also, and times m. So yeah, we only do floor division because we want integer and not a 0.0. And num1 will be total minus num2, and we can return num1 minus num2, and that would be our result. Let's see if it works. Okay, perfect. Thank you all for watching. Hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I hope to see you all again soon.